A day before the wedding, $15,000 vanished from my account. I called my brother. She said, "Come on. It's not like you'd use it. You don't even have a real family." I just replied, "That's about to change." The next morning, Forrest canceled. DJ ghosted. Venue refunded. Group chat exploded. My mom called me screaming. I'm not the kind of person who sees betrayal coming. I give people the benefit of the doubt even when they don't deserve it. My brother Corey always took advantage of that, and I let him. Not because I didn't see it, I did, but because I kept telling myself he'd grow out of it. That at some point he'd finally get it together and start acting like a decent human being. I was wrong. A few months ago, Corey came to me talking about how tight money was with the wedding coming up. He said the bills were piling up faster than he expected. The venue wanted their second deposit. The florist wanted full payment earlier than planned. The DJ was threatening to cancel unless he sent something. It was the usual mix of pressure and manipulation. I wasn't surprised when he asked if he could use my card for a few things. "Just to float it," he said. "You'll see every charge. Nothing shady." I didn't hesitate. I told him fine. I even gave him my login so he could see the balances himself. He said he wouldn't use it without checking first. I believed him. The first few charges were small. A couple hundred here, $350 there. I didn't think much of it. I assumed he was keeping track. I didn't realize I was the one funding the whole damn thing. The day before the wedding, I logged in just to check my balance before setting up a transfer for my rent. The number hit me like a brick to the chest. Over $15,000. Gone. Not pending. Not disputed. Cleared. At first I thought I was misreading it. That maybe I clicked on the wrong account. But then I saw the names. The vendor names. The dates. The amounts. He had booked everything using my money. The venue, the catering, the DJ, the florist, even the photographer. Not a single charge had come from his account. And he hadn't paid me back a cent. I called him. No answer. Texted. Nothing. I called again. Voicemail. I finally wrote, "Pick up or I swear to God I will show up and ruin your wedding myself." That got his attention. He FaceTimed me. He was in the back of some party shuttle, clearly already drinking, tie loose around his neck, laughing with his groomsmen. I asked him what the hell he'd done. At first he tried to play dumb. Then he leaned back and grinned. "It's not like you were gonna use that money. You don't even have a real family." That sentence. I couldn't stop hearing it. As if because I wasn't married, didn't have kids, my life didn't count. Like I was some placeholder human whose savings were just sitting there waiting to be repurposed for someone else's dream day. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I said 6 words. "That's about to change. Watch me." And I hung up. I don't think he really thought I'd do anything. He probably thought I'd sulk or fume or maybe threaten to tell our parents. But I wasn't interested in whining. I was interested in control. Because what Corey didn't realize, what he never took seriously, was that I'd been the one to help him organize half this wedding. Not out of excitement, but because he kept dumping the work on me. He didn't know the florist's name. He couldn't remember the venue address. The DJ had been my suggestion after his first one bailed. So when he used my card, the bookings ended up under my name. I opened my laptop and got to work. It wasn't emotional. It was surgical. First email went to the venue. I told them the event was canceled. Personal emergency. No reschedule. Please refund to the card on file. The florist was next. They were nice about it. Said it was last minute, but they understood. The DJ? He hadn't even been paid in full. I told him never mind. He texted back, "Then wait, what's going on?" And then nothing. I blocked him. By the time I was done, I had undone the entire wedding with 6 emails and 2 phone calls. I didn't post anything. Didn't tell anyone. I just waited. The next morning my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. 47 missed calls. A flood of texts. The group chat for the wedding exploded. People were confused, angry, gossiping. Screenshots started flying. Someone posted a photo of the empty venue parking lot. Another said the florist hadn't shown up. Guests were arriving in dresses and suits only to find out nothing was happening. That's when my mom called. And she was screaming. I let my mom's call go to voicemail. Same with the one after that. And the one after that. Eventually I turned my phone off and made myself breakfast. I hadn't slept that well in years. By 11 a.m. the wedding was supposed to be in full swing. Guests were arriving expecting drinks and hors d'oeuvres. Instead they were greeted by locked doors and silence. The wedding coordinator Corey never bothered to hire was nowhere to be found. Because that job had unofficially been me. By noon I turned my phone back on. The first notification I saw was a selfie from one of Corey's friends, posted to his Instagram story. It was captioned, "Bro, what happened?" The background was the venue, empty. Just a few confused people milling around the parking lot. Then came the text. From Corey. What the actual F asterisk asterisk did you do? Sis. Do you have any idea what you've done? Mom is losing it. You better fix this now. From our cousin Amanda. Is the wedding cancelled? Why is no one answering? From Corey's fiancée Brianna. Why is there no DJ? Why did the florist say the order was cancelled by you? I didn't reply. I didn't even open most of them. I just watched as the chaos unfolded in real time. People started putting things together quickly. Someone posted in the wedding group chat that the venue manager had told them the reservation had been cancelled last night. Then someone else mentioned that the DJ ghosted. Then someone else said the florist called to confirm they wouldn't be delivering the flowers because of a cancellation from Jessica. My name was starting to come up a lot. And then came the panic. Corey called again. This time I picked up. He didn't even say hello. He just launched into it. You embarrassed me in front of everyone. You ruined this day. Are you seriously this bitter? You should be ashamed. I let him rant. When he paused, I said, you took $15,000 from me and lied. You didn't ask. You stole. And then you tried to humiliate me on top of it. He didn't apologize. He just kept demanding I fix it. He still thought this could be salvaged. That maybe if I called the vendors and said it was a mistake they'd come running back last minute. But here's the thing. It wasn't just cancelled. I made sure every refund had already been processed. There was nothing left to fix. By the time our parents showed up at his place, still in their formal clothes, the whole story had come out. My mom was hysterical. She didn't want to believe it. She kept saying there had to be a misunderstanding, that I must have overreacted, until she saw the screenshots, the bank statements, the emails. She stood in the middle of Corey's overpriced rented apartment, stared him down and slapped him hard across the face. Not because she's violent, but because she finally saw him for what he was. A liar who thought he could steal from his own sister and walk down the aisle like nothing happened. My dad didn't say much. He just looked around at the apartment full of unopened gifts and scattered tuxedos and said, you crossed a line. Don't ask me for anything again. Corey started yelling then. Something about how I ruined his future. That I was jealous. That I couldn't stand to see him happy. But none of it landed. Because by then the group chat had turned on him. Guests were posting things like, wait, he paid for nothing himself? And so Jessica funded the entire wedding and he didn't tell anyone? One of Brianna's bridesmaids even posted a screenshot of her conversation with the DJ, confirming Corey never even talked to him. It had all been me. Then came the real blow. Brianna's maid of honor wrote, honestly, if my fiancé did this to his own sister, I'd reconsider the marriage. Just saying. I didn't need to say a word. The wedding was over. Not just the event. The whole thing. And I hadn't even left my apartment. The next day felt unnaturally calm. After the chaos, the screaming, the dozens of texts, it was like everything went still. I made coffee, sat on the couch and waited for the next explosion. It didn't come. No calls. No angry relatives. Not even a knock from my parents. I figured maybe they were all too embarrassed to say anything, or maybe Corey had finally told them the truth. Unlikely but possible. I almost let myself believe it was over. Until he showed up at my door. I heard the knock before I even saw the notification from the building camera. He was standing there, same dress pants from yesterday, shirt wrinkled, looking like he hadn't slept. I opened the door without a word. He didn't wait for an invitation. Just shoved past me into the apartment like he still had some kind of authority in my life. You destroyed my life. That was how he started. Not a single hint of remorse. He didn't ask why I did it. Didn't ask if I was okay. Just straight into the victim act like it was a script he'd rehearsed. I said nothing. Just stood there while he started pacing like he had somewhere to go. You couldn't just talk to me? You couldn't give me a warning? 65 people, Jessica. You made me look like a fraud. I didn't need to remind him that he was a fraud. That he'd booked every single thing on my card without permission and left me to foot the bill. That he laughed in my face and told me I didn't have a real family, like I was supposed to just take that and clap for him at the altar. He kept going. You always do this. You wait until things are too far and then you pull some dramatic stunt. Why couldn't you just wait? Let me fix it. I finally spoke. Quietly. You had 15,000 reasons to talk to me. You chose not to. That shut him up for a second. But he wasn't done. You don't get it. Everyone thinks I'm a scammer now. My friends won't talk to me. Brianna's not even staying at the apartment. She went to her mom's. I blinked. So she left. He hesitated. She's thinking. That told me everything. There was a long pause. Then he asked it. The real reason he came. Are you going to report it? I looked at him. Really looked at him. And for the first time I think he understood how badly he messed up. Because I could see the fear. Not of me, of consequences. Real ones. Not just a cancelled party but a fraud charge. A police report. A ruined credit score. A record. I haven't decided yet, I said. He didn't say another word. Just turned and left. Slammed the door so hard the picture frame in the hallway tilted sideways. That night my mom called. This time she wasn't screaming. She sounded tired. I think reality had caught up to her too. We're having dinner next weekend, she said. Just us. Family. We need to fix this. I didn't argue. I just said, okay. But something had shifted. The next morning I opened my banking app and went to the automatic payments. There it was, the $300 monthly transfer to pay off Corey's credit card. The one I'd been covering for over a year. The one he told everyone he was proud to be paying on his own, part of his financial comeback story. I canceled it. No warning. No explanation. Just done. Let the calls come. Let the bank reach out. Let the late fees pile up. He thought I didn't have a real family? Well, he just found out what it looks like when the one person who treated him like family finally walks away. The week after the wedding that never happened felt like standing in the eye of a hurricane. Calm but in that eerie way that tells you it's not over. Just quiet enough to make you wonder what's coming next. No one called me. Not my mom, not my dad, not Corey. Even the cousins who loved to gossip stayed silent, probably afraid of picking a side and backing the wrong one. The group chat died instantly after the cancellation. It went from 300 messages a day to nothing. You could almost hear the digital tumbleweeds. People didn't know where to place their outrage. That's the thing about public disasters. Once everyone realizes the real story is more complicated than it looked, they back off and pretend they never had an opinion. A few guests unsent their snarky texts about me. One aunt who publicly called me unstable even posted a photo of her garden with some cryptic caption about forgiveness, like that covered it. But Brianna, she reached out. Her message came 2 days after everything blew up. I didn't know any of it. I'm sorry. No punctuation. No emojis. No defensiveness. Just a single line that hit harder than I expected. And I didn't answer. Not because I was angry but because I had nothing to give her. Not advice, not comfort. That mess was hers now. Rumor was she hadn't gone back to the apartment. Someone mentioned she was staying at her mom's place, that she was re-evaluating everything. I hoped for her sake she was. Because if she still wanted to marry someone who could do what Corey did, she had worse problems than me. Corey stayed completely silent. Didn't call. Didn't text. Which would have been fine if not for one unexpected thing. A notification from the credit card company. He missed his payment. Of course he did. I'd been covering it for a year and now it was all on him. But I didn't expect what happened next. Less than 48 hours after the missed payment hit his account, I got another notification. This one from my bank. A direct deposit had hit from my father. The exact amount of the missed payment. Right down to the cent. It was subtle. Like he thought I wouldn't notice. Like he was trying to patch a leak without admitting there was ever water. He didn't text or say anything. Just paid it quietly. Like covering for Corey was a reflex he still hadn't unlearned. Then came the Venmo request. $15,000 from Corey. Description: wedding mistake. No explanation. No apology. No thank you, or please forgive me. Just that phrase, wedding mistake. I let it sit there untouched. I wanted him to squirm. Wanted him to feel what it's like when someone holds your life in their hands and doesn't rush to save you. And then finally came the dinner. My mom texted the morning of. Dinner tonight. 6 o'clock. We need to sit down as a family. She didn't say please. Didn't ask. Just stated it like it was mandatory. Part of me didn't want to go but the other part needed to see it. The aftermath. I wanted to know if Corey had learned anything, or if this was just another episode he planned to cry his way out of. I got there 5 minutes early. The house smelled like roast chicken and nerves. My mom was bustling in the kitchen acting like nothing had happened. My dad was already at the table looking exhausted. No one brought it up. No one even mentioned the wedding. And then Corey walked in. He looked older. Not in a mature way, more like he'd aged a year and a week. His eyes were sunken, his skin a little pale. He didn't smile. Didn't even fake it. He sat across from me and stared at his plate for a long time. Then without looking up he finally spoke. I owe you more than money. The room went still. I don't know what to say. I messed up. I was stupid. I thought I could handle it. I thought I could just figure it out after. And when you canceled everything I told myself you overreacted but the truth is you didn't. I used you. And I said something unforgivable. No one interrupted him. Not even my mom who had probably rehearsed 5 different speeches in her head before we sat down. I'm sorry, he said. I really am. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I needed to say it. I didn't answer right away. I just cut into my food and ate in silence. Because forgiveness, that wasn't happening tonight. But this, watching him sit there embarrassed and fully aware of how badly he'd wrecked his own life, that was a start. Dinner was quiet in the way that makes you aware of every sound. The clink of forks on plates, the scrape of chairs, the ticking of the old wall clock in the dining room. My mom had gone overboard, of course. Roast chicken, 2 kinds of potatoes, fresh rolls, green beans, a pie cooling in the kitchen. As if food could erase what happened. No one talked much. Not even her. Corey barely touched his plate. He looked like someone who had just figured out he's not the main character in his own story anymore. I didn't say anything either. I just ate slowly and let the silence stretch as long as it needed to. My dad sat at the end of the table, arms crossed, chewing in slow, deliberate bites. He hadn't said a single word since I walked in. I didn't expect Corey to speak again after the apology he gave earlier, but maybe he felt like silence wasn't going to be enough. He cleared his throat and started again. I don't expect anyone here to forgive me. I lied to all of you. I let Jessica pay for everything, told myself I'd figure it out later, and I didn't. I just kept going, hoping no one would notice. I didn't care what it would cost her because I was too focused on not looking like a failure. He looked straight at me, and I was wrong. About all of it. He meant what he said. I could tell. But it didn't make it better. It just made it real. Then right in the middle of that heavy silence, the front door opened. It was Brianna. I hadn't heard her name since the wedding imploded. I assumed she'd gone no contact. Guess not. She looked different. Not put together like she always used to be. Just tired. Faded jeans, sneakers, a hoodie that didn't match. No makeup. She looked like someone who'd been crying for days and finally stopped because she just ran out. She didn't sit right away. She stood there for a second like she wasn't sure if she should even be there. My mom gave her a weak smile and motioned toward an empty chair, but Brianna didn't take it. Instead she turned to me. I owe you an apology. The room tensed up instantly. Even Corey looked surprised. I didn't know. I really didn't. He told me he was covering everything, that he had it all under control, that the money was his. I believed him because I wanted to, because it was easier than asking questions that might ruin the fantasy. And when everything fell apart, I thought you were just trying to sabotage the wedding. She took a shaky breath. But you weren't trying to destroy anything. You were the only person protecting anything real. I see that now. She looked over at Corey, and whatever expression she gave him, it was cold. I'm not moving back in. I need time. Maybe a lot of it. And then she left. Quiet, no drama, just turned and walked out like the entire chapter of her life had just closed behind her. My mom stared after her. My dad finally exhaled. Corey just sat there like someone had dropped a concrete block in his chest. No one said a word for several minutes. We just sat in it. The silence. The wreckage. The consequence. After a while, my mom tried to make things light again. She asked if anyone wanted dessert. No one answered. The pie stayed in the kitchen. When I stood up to leave, Corey followed me to the door. He didn't try to stop me, didn't grab my arm or ask for anything. He just said, I deserved everything that happened. I know that. I'm going to pay you back. Every cent. And I'll never ask you for anything again. I looked at him. I know. And I left. No dramatic goodbye. No hugs. No false promises of starting fresh. Just a quiet walk to my car and the knowledge that for the first time, I wasn't the one cleaning up the mess. Let him live in it. Let him learn from it. I didn't need him to be sorry. I needed him to be better. And that was on him now. 2 months passed. Quietly. No disasters, no new drama, no sudden apologies. Just the slow, awkward return to a version of normal that didn't quite fit like it used to. The wedding was never rescheduled. Not postponed, not rebranded into a celebration of love. Nothing. It just evaporated. No explanation to the guests. No follow-up on the group chat, no social media posts. The last photo of Corey and Brianna together is still up on her profile, but it's buried under weeks of yoga class pics, coffee shop shots, and a quiet return to her own life. According to my mom, Brianna came back to the apartment once. Not to talk, just to pack. She waited until Corey was at work, brought a friend, and cleared her things in 2 hours. She left a short note. Something about needing to choose peace over partnership and how love without respect wasn't worth the risk. That was it. No goodbye. No closure. Just gone. Corey didn't fight it. Didn't chase after her. Maybe because he knew it would be useless. Or maybe for the first time he realized someone leaving was the consequence, not the betrayal. We didn't talk. Not really. He texted once, a few weeks after the dinner. Got a second job. Warehouse nights. Making it work. I saw it, read it twice and let it sit there. I didn't respond. Not out of bitterness, I just didn't know what to say that would mean anything. Words don't fix patterns. Work does. And that was on him now. A few days later I got another notification. This time, it was him removing my name as the backup contact on one of his financial accounts. Quiet but not unnoticed. Like he was starting to understand that being my brother didn't mean being entitled to my life. I started seeing small signs that he was trying. He sold the gaming console I helped him buy 2 years ago. He downgraded his car insurance. He started packing lunches. Little things, but they said more than another apology ever could. The Venmo he sent for the $15,000 sat there for nearly a month. I didn't touch it. Part of me didn't want it. The money had already come back to me through refunds. But I wasn't waiting for the dollar amount. I was waiting to see if he meant it. Eventually I accepted it. Not because I forgave him, but because I didn't want it hanging over either of us. I didn't need the transaction to stay open any longer than the relationship had already been fractured. Felt like closing a tab. I also got a call from the credit company. Corey had officially taken full responsibility for the account I used to pay for. He made a payment. On his own. No assistance. I didn't feel proud exactly. Just relieved. Like he'd finally picked up the weight I'd been dragging for him for years. Then came another family dinner. My mom texted casually like it was any other weekend. Roast chicken again, bring whatever. I almost didn't go. I was curious. Not about Corey. About me. I wanted to see if I could be around all of them again without feeling that familiar weight in my chest. I got there late. On purpose. Corey was already there. Cleaned up, polite, quieter than usual. He asked how work was. I gave a short answer. He didn't press. My dad made a joke about the thermostat. My mom tried to make everyone laugh about some neighbor's ugly lawn decorations. It was almost normal. We didn't rehash the past. We didn't toast to moving forward. There were no speeches, no big family moments. Just a bunch of people who had gone through something ugly and were now figuring out how to sit at the same table without falling apart. After dinner I went to leave and Corey walked me to the door. He didn't say anything at first. Just stood there, hands in his pockets, waiting. Then finally, I know I don't get another chance to be your brother the way I was. But I'm not going to be that guy again. I won't put that on you. I nodded. Not out of forgiveness, just acknowledgement. He wasn't wrong. I drove home in silence, no music, no calls, just the hum of the road and this strange, subtle feeling settling in my chest. It wasn't happiness. It wasn't triumph. It was peace. Real peace. The kind that comes when you finally let go of who you wished someone would be, and start accepting who they actually are, and where they no longer belong in your life. He's still my brother. But I've stopped being the one who holds him up. And for the first time in years I don't feel guilty about that.